Good evening. I have the time as 7:30. So I will call this public hearing and regular business meeting of Mayor and Council for the City of Snellville, Georgia, Monday, September 9th, 2024 to order. We do have a quorum. All members are present, and we're going to start with the invocation to be given by a member of the Cub Scout or Boy Scout Troop 506. Liam, if you want to come forward and give the invocation.
Good evening. My name is Liam Dannemiller, and I am a scout in Troop 506. Tonight, I am honored to begin this meeting with the poem Service by Edgar A. Guest. I have no wealth of gold to give away, but I can pledge to worthy causes these. I'll give my strength, my days and hours of ease, my finest thought and courage when I may, and take some deed accomplish for my pay. I cannot offer much in silver fees, but I can serve when richer persons play, and with my presence fill some vacancies. There are some things beyond the gift of gold, a richer treasures needed now and then, some joys life needs which are not bought and sold. The high occasion often calls for men. Some for release from service give their pelf, but he gives most who freely gives himself.
Thank you, sir. And now, for those who are able, if you could stand for the pledge to be led by Cub Scout Pack, or Boy Scout Pack 506.
Please join me for the presentation of the colors. Color Guard advance. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Got salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Color Guard, post the colors. Two. You may be seated.
Thank you all. We appreciate your presence here tonight, and a lot of this group came out Thursday night, and we sat and chatted for a little while on city government, and they were full of lots of questions. So now under ceremonial matters, we do have Proclamation 2024-07. I won't read it. It's in recognition of Arbor Day. And this is a proclamation that we do each year to help the city retain its Tree City status. So now we'll move on to the minutes. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve the minutes of the August 26th, 2024 meetings.
There's a motion to approve the minutes. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor, please raise your hand. That is 6 in favor with none opposed. And now we have no invited guests, no committee or department reports, so we'll move to the approval of the agenda. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve tonight's agenda, September 9th, 2024.
There's a motion to approve the agenda. Is there a second? There is a motion and a second. All in favor, please raise your hand. That is 6 in favor with none opposed, so the agenda stands as it was posted. We have, now we'll move to the public hearing. We have one item under our public hearing. This has been postponed.
Madam Mayor, I'd like to recuse myself at this time.
Thank you. So Councilmember Schultz will be recusing herself. We'll give her a moment to walk out of the room. Okay, so Councilmember Schultz has recused herself. So this is the second reading, RZ 24-02. It's been postponed twice, and so now we're here with the final. There have been some changes to the site plan, so we will have the public hearing again tonight. So it is RZ 24-02, consideration and action on application by Vikram Chahardi and Grace Ridge Snellville LLC, the property owners, and Parkland Communities, Inc., the applicant, requesting to amend the official zoning map from BG General Business District to RTH Townhome Residential District, and request for variances from the Snellville Unified Development Ordinance for 65-unit, single-family attached townhome development on an 8.174 plus or minus acre site located adjacent to the Town Center Office Park at 2785 West Main Street, Snellville. Its tax parcels 5007, 165, 282, 283, and 285. Just so that anyone in the room who's not familiar with the process, let me explain how the process works on a public hearing. I want to read a statement that we read before all public hearings. In order to help everyone have an equal opportunity to be heard and minimize distraction, I ask the audience to please silence or turn off any electronic communication devices. I would like to remind everyone present that this is an official public meeting at which important business is conducted, and it is a legal process. The city attorney has advised the council that audience outbursts, including applause, have been used by the courts to overturn zoning decisions. Therefore, I ask that you refrain from applause and all other extraneous remarks. Each side will be allowed a total of 15 minutes for support or 15 minutes in opposition. This is not per person, but total, so you may wish to consider coordinating any arguments before or consider having a spokesperson present your position. If council members ask questions of you, it will not be deducted from your time. Should you have the opportunity to come to the microphone to make a comment in support or in opposition to any of the requests before us, please state your name and address for the public record before beginning. Also, you will only be given one opportunity to speak. Please also direct all of your comments to myself and the council and not to the applicant or another speaker. And the way we do this is our planning director, Jason Thompson, will give an overview of the project. Since we've been through this and a public hearing before, it'll be a little bit shorter, I think.
Much abbreviated.
And then, but he will let us know what has changed on the site plan. After Mr. Thompson gives his presentation, council can have opportunities to ask him questions. Then the applicant will be asked to step forward. He can make his case. And then after the applicant speaks, then we will open the floor, giving time to anyone that supports the project or anyone that is opposed to the project. After the time limit expires on that time, again, it's 15 minutes per side. Then we will close the public hearing, and then the council will make a motion and take a vote. So that's just so that you understand what the process is. Mr. Thompson.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council. Thank you, public, for being here tonight. Basically, there's been a couple of reiterations of the project since we originally saw it.
The original project was set up much like this. This is the final submitted plan. The only changes that have been made from the original submittal, as you remember, there were some concerns with the trash trucks. There were some concerns with how the connection on the rear to Crescent would be controlled. The rear is still being controlled by a gate, and then we'll have a Knox box, or that will only open for emergency personnel. It'll be stubbed out and gated in order to meet fire marshal code and to back out as well down there. So that has remained. We have also addressed the trash situation with the current site plan. There's been dumpsters added here. I believe there's not to confuse everyone, but there may be an amendment to actually move the dumpster up here even further away from the residences on the service drive. I'll let the applicant make that request. Outside of that, our recommendation is still approval. It's pretty much the same plan with the trash and then the access address. There will be bollards placed at the end of all of the stub streets so no one can park there, and there's a few other conditions, basically striping the curb for no parking and some housekeeping conditions we added to the ordinance 1402. The variance was requested changed a little bit. There's only one left for, or the one that's pertinent is to allow no cul-de-sac there on the end of that long drive. Anything over 1,000 feet requires a cul-de-sac. There's really nowhere to put a cul-de-sac, so the Crescent Drive gated connection will serve as the turnaround point. Thus, we recommend approval of the requested variances and the additional conditions that are attached in Ordinance 14-02 with exhibits dated today, 5/9, regarding the mislabeling of some parking lot counts. It was really just it's the same plan that has been online since Friday. The one we got in today was just a housekeeping cleanup. I want to make sure we reference that one. It's all referenced correctly in the ordinance, 1402. Any questions?
Jason, you're saying 1402, but the ordinance
I'm sorry.
number's 2024-04.
I'm sorry. Well, then reference that one. I read it wrong.
Okay.
I don't know what I was looking at.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. It's been
Taking us
so
back
many,
a few years.
hey. I do too now.
Are there any questions for the council of Mr. Thompson? Nope. Thank you, sir. Is the applicant present? If you come forward and state your name and address for the record.
Yes, ma'am.
And our city attorney will be keeping the clock.
Very good. I will be brief as well. Alex Mitchum, LJA Engineering, 19 East Candler Street in Winder. Also with me tonight is Jim Jacoby with Parkland Communities, and also Kevin Cardinal. And we appreciate staff's time on this. It's been through several iterations, as I understand, and also council. And all this as an effort is to take all the input we got from the community, from staff, and from yourselves to make this the best possible project we can. And if I will, I'll put this exhibit up here. Let me turn it around. If you note, this is exhibit that's dated 9/9/24A. And what it does is shows the location that we were just discussing about the dumpster being up front there behind the auto parts store. We think that's a superior location there because it does remove it away from all of the other townhomes. It's, we don't want to build an expensive townhome there that then you're backing up to a dumpster, right? It did make sense when we initially started looking at it because the adjacent property has their dumpster location right there, so they would back up to one another. But as we studied a little bit more, we think that's a better location. I think someone mentioned that to us last week, and we just didn't hear them. But also that area is near the kiosk and kind of the bump out for the community. They can pull in there as well, so it has the parking. As Jason said, the parking was worked out as far as the total number. We exceed that and meet that. We understand that also too there was a concern about that connection to Crescent Drive. I understand that. The applicant understands, our client understands that. And to reiterate what Jason said, it will be secure. It will have a Knox box back there with a control arm, so there will not be any access other than EMS vehicles. So I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have, and if none, then I'll save the rest of my time for rebuttal.
Any questions of council for Mr. Mitchum? Nope. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, so we will go into the public hearing portion. I will open the floor to public comment, and first we will give 15 minutes to anyone who would like to speak in support of the project. Please step forward and give your name and address for the microphone. Don't be shy.
Hello, my name is William Ellis, and I live adjacent to Crescent Drive. My parents moved here in October of '70, and my wife and I have been living in that house for 33 years, and a member of our house has lived in that house since October '70, 53 years in this neighborhood. And we've always had a very quiet, very few vehicles in our neighborhood. And however, I know that recently, within the last several years, there's been a push for more and higher density projects here in the city of Atlanta, the Grove being one. And of course, traffic is a major problem in our city. And of course, you know, we were not able to attend any of these meetings because we were gone when it first came around. But as usually happens, you know, nothing really happens until the last hour, you know, within, you know. And so, in any case, I had a chance to review this plan, and I've been doing land development and engineering design and planning and zoning issues for 50 years, and graduated from Georgia Tech, registered surveyor, registered land surveyor, and a registered civil engineer. And I've reviewed this plan, but I've also reviewed the regulations, and one of the regulations, and I went to see the planner up the planning office today and requested some information on why the buffer is not being preserved on this property. And I was given this zoning ordinance that said that it's required that a budding street, when it's has to be figured into the design of the traffic flow. But there is, though, an out, and it says that if the director, it says the requirement may be modified by the director when a serious topographic hardship or dissimilar zoning exists, which would create an unacceptable land use conflicts between the two developments. This townhouse project proposes 8 units per acre, and it is up against our single-family residential, which is 0.68 units per acre. That's almost 12 times the number of residential units, and I would classify that as quite a dissimilar and unacceptable land use conflict between the land uses. And I don't see any reason why we should have an access along Crescent Drive. We've been up to, before this council many times over the last 50 years to prevent the Crescent Drive coming through that area up through there. And I was just really surprised at the proposal of how dense the number of single-family units are going to be. You know, and I think that what's going to happen is eventually, you know, the traffic will seek out this source between Oak Road through our subdivision, through this to 78 and Fountain Drive, regardless of whether that is fence is in there, locked or unlocked. And that will not, and the purpose of an undisturbed buffer is supposed to separate all interparcel activity. That means foot traffic as well as everything, noise, visual, and you know, and I don't really like to complain, but right behind our house, they have a force main that comes down Crescent Drive and goes up, and it's taken out half of the undisturbed buffer behind my house and my neighbor's house, and that's in that buffer right there. And let's see if I can, right there. It goes, the force main comes up, it goes up here and to that property. Also, right in here is a big detention area, and it comes down through this buffer to this area right in here. And I can see, of course I can see why, you know, being an engineer I can see, and I've dealt with this before, why they would want to have maybe a water line access, so they would be able to connect a water line coming down through there for fire control. And but I don't think that they should have a full 28-foot wide opening there. And I think that you should reconsider accepting this with access through our subdivision. Well, let's see, yeah. I think I've pretty much covered my complaints about this. And I think that that's going to be a lot of units. And what's fire control going to say about that? But of course, we're not here to discuss the design at this point in the discussion. It's here for strictly zoning matters. But I think that they should reconsider this, and that's all I have to say.
Thank you, sir.
Madam Mayor, we need to make a correction to the record at this point. The mayor had called for argument in support at this point in time. This gentleman was clearly speaking in opposition, and so therefore the remaining 8 minutes and 38 seconds will be applied to the opposition when the mayor calls for opposition. So there is still time allotted for the applicants in support.
Okay. Is there anyone here to speak in support of the project?
Kurt Schultz, 2027 Tanglewood Drive. We've been in Nob Hill right at about 50 years now. This has always been a quandary to us, what's going to happen on this property. It has been zoned commercial for, you know, ever since I can remember, since we've been there. And as it sits with its current zoning, some really bad stuff could be built there without any council approval, without any further approval from the planning and zoning. And I truly believe that, you know, the only thing that would make all the residents happy would be if this property stayed vacant. That's not going to happen. Something is going to be built here. And I find this to be a good transition from our very light density residential down to the heavy commercial down on 78. There's no way we'll get a light residential property in there. It's just virtually impossible. So with that all in mind, I think, again, this is a good transition. The only thing I would ask, if they make a super heavy-duty lock to put on that gate, get the very best one you can. And, that's basically how I feel about it. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else speaking in support? Then I will close for comments on support. Anyone who would like to speak in opposition?
That was me speaking in opposition.
Yes, sir. We got you there.
I jumped the gun, sorry.
That's all right. We got it figured out. Anyone else? Okay, seeing none, then I will close the public hearing portion of the meeting. Mr. Mitchum, any comments that you'd like to make?
You have 11 minutes and 11 seconds remaining.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mayor. Again, I'll be brief. The comments we heard, Mr. Ellis, are well received. Again, we're same concerns, as far as access, and we assure you that, and Mr. Schultz as well, that we'll get the best lock and gate that we can possibly put on that. As far as, the zoning, it is BG. We do consider it as a step down in terms of going to the townhomes. I would like to point out that buffer back there, there is a 20-foot undisturbed buffer with an additional 20-foot of an enhanced buffer with a fence. So providing a little extra security and screening as well. So with that, I'll be happy to answer any questions that I can for you.
Okay. Any other questions for council? Nope. Thank you, Mr. Mitchum.
Actually, is that an opaque fence?
It is a black chain link fence. It's a powder coated chain link fence.
Would the applicant be open to making it an opaque fence? So headlights from people parking in those parking spaces facing the adjacent property, it would stop that. And I know eventually the plantings will, but
Sure.
the concern is certainly there during the...
If you allow me a minute just to confer with him.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
I've conferred with him.
There you
Yes.
go. I even saw that one.
Mayor, what'd he say? No, seriously, thank you for that comment. That's awesome.
Okay, thank you. Okay, having heard the public comment and then the presentation, is there a motion of council?
Madam Mayor, I make a motion to approve, oh good Lord, I don't have the right stuff here, RZ 24-02 in reference to ordinance 2024-04 and with the following conditions, because they had not been up on the website for very long. Want to make sure they're read into the record. Well, actually, condition 1, the property shall be developed in general accordance with the conceptual rezoning site plan entitled Site Zoning Plan for Brookwood Green, dated 9/9/24, stamped and received September 9th, 2024, but now also labeled 9/9/24A, and that will be Exhibit B, a copy of which will be attached here too for reference, with modifications permitting to meet conditions of zoning, state, county, and city regulations. Substantial variation from conceptual rezoning site plan as determined by the Director of Planning and Development will require mayor and council approval after submitting a change in conditions application and receiving recommendations by the Planning Department and Planning Commission. I will skip 2, 3, and 4 since they are the exact same as they have been online for the last 90 days or so. Well, I want to read number 5. I like number 5. Number 5, a rental cap of 10% of the total number of townhome units in any given time for the renters for rentals greater than 30 consecutive days shall be placed on the development, and such language being included in the Homeowners Association Declaration of Covenants, Conditions, and Restrictions. Number 6, a micro-transit bus stop is to be provided and located near the split of the interior private drive with the design of said bus stop to be approved by the Director of Planning and Development. Number 7, traffic control bollards shall be placed at the end of each alleyway with evergreen shrubbery planted between or behind the bollards as approved by the Director of Planning and Development. Number 8, painted no parking curb will be provided in areas to be determined by the Snellville Police Chief and Director of Planning and Development. Number 9, a solid waste dumpster to be located along the street from Fountain Drive to Highway 78 West at a location to be approved by the Director of Planning and Development and also shown in drawing 9/9/24A. Number 10, the stormwater design shall incorporate measures to minimize overwash of courtyard green space from building gutters and downspouts and development roadways. And I guess now we have a number 11, which is the fence on the northwest portion of the property shall be opaque and designed to be approved by Director of Planning and Development. And that is my motion.
And you're also incorporating the variances that were already listed in the ordinance?
Including all the other conditions and variances that were not read.
Thank you. Okay, so there is a motion to approve with conditions. Is there a second?
Second.
There is a motion and a second. Any discussion by council? Nope. Then I will ask for the vote. All in favor, please raise your hand. That is 5 in favor. I forgot we were missing one. Any opposed? And no abstentions. Okay, the motion or the rezoning has been approved. Can someone retrieve our council member? Gretchen, if you're okay with this, while you're making your way, we'll go ahead and move on to council reports because our business meeting has concluded. We have nothing under consent agenda, old business, or new business. So now we'll move to council reports. Councilmember Norman Carter.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and good evening to all of you. Just a couple things I'd like to go over. First of all, September is Prostate Awareness Month, Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. And to all my men out there, I found out several years ago that 98% of all men, if you live long enough, you will have trouble with your prostate. Prostate cancer, though, affects 1 in 7 men. It is more prevalent in African Americans, and when it hits African Americans, it's more vicious. So, if you're over 50 or if you have a history of either breast cancer or prostate cancer in your family, I encourage you to get yourself checked as soon as possible or at your next physical. It's also Suicide Awareness Month. And if you know of anyone in crisis or if you're in crisis, the phone number 988 will be of great help to you. I actually commend all of you who come into our council meetings. I view it as who are courageous enough to stand in front of a microphone and the video cameras and share with our community your feelings and keeping Snellville a place where everybody is proud to be somebody. Your opinions are important as they demonstrate the pulse of a vibrant and growing community. It is by your input that we, the elected leaders, have a foundation on which to make decisions that affect this community now and in the future. Personally, my wife and I came to a council meeting several years ago. And while we learned a lot about present and future projects in this community, the negativity was uncomfortably palatable. Who wants to come to meetings where negativity overrides realistic suggestions for maintaining a quality of life that is both sustainable and fiscally responsible? Many of you who may not be able to attend my meetings, I found out this week, do watch video replays of our meetings. And some of you send us emails to express your concerns. We read them. We do our best to research and answer your questions and concerns as soon as possible. Mayor Pro Tem Todd Warner and our Mayor Barbara Bender are very good at this. And I hope to be good at this soon. But just let me say that don't let others speak for you. Don't let others speak for you. You can speak for yourself via your presence here, by email, or by phone call. Freedom of speech and diversity in opinions are the bedrock of our American way of life. Those two, and your freedom to safe and secure voting without armed soldiers looking over your shoulder, are what separate America in general and Snellville in particular from far too many countries and communities in this world. And also, we had a question last week about homelessness in this community. I will get more information for you in the future, but I do know that the Gwinnett County Gateway 85 Community Improvement Development Project has looked at homelessness throughout Gwinnett County, and they're in the process of developing a plan to address that issue. I will do my best to get as much information to you about that as I can in the future. Thank you all for coming to our meeting today.
Thank you, Norman. Councilmember Carrie Hetherington.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for coming out tonight. Once again, Norman and I had not really spoken in the last couple weeks since our last meeting, but again, I had almost the same council report. So I too was going to commend everyone for not only showing up, but emailing and speaking. Whether we vote the way that you want us to or not, we do value your input. We do read them, consider them. It is very important to us to hear what you have to say and to consider that in what we do. Also, I want to remind everyone this Saturday, the 14th, 4 to 8 p.m. Out here on the town green. Apparently, we're all stealing each other's council reports this evening. Out here on the town green is the International Taste of Snellville. There's going to be lots of food. There's going to be a kid zone with inflatables, train rides, all kind of fun stuff. And a band at 6 o'clock. We'll be playing live music out on the green. So come out for that this weekend. And last thing, I know a whole lot of people had a very rough summer, not the least of which being an entire high school that's just down the road from us. Just be kind to one another out there. The going's not real easy right now. So have grace, be kind, and love your neighbor. Thank you.
Thank you, Carrie. Councilmember Christy Linsky.
Hi, good evening. If you have not picked up your copy of Snellville Spirit magazine, be sure to get one on your way out. They're right next to the entryway door and a rack, and you'll see our executive director of stats grandson on the cover. This is baby Graham Huggins. He is actually 10 months old, but he looks like he's 2 years old already. He's in 18 to 24 month clothing. So big boy. Gracing our cover shows you the power of love causes a child to thrive. And Kelly McAloon has just done an excellent job with the magazine. all of the events like the Saturday International Taste of Snellville event that's coming up on the town green are listed. The restaurants who will be here are posted on one of the pages as well. So updates in our high schools, including Brookwood and South Gwinnett, are in the magazine as well, some other events, and the Fall Festival coming up, of course, in October 19th. Then Snellville Youth Commission, I haven't said anything about our Youth Commission recently. We've taken a few months off for the summer, and our new members will be meeting with our current members on Saturday here at City Hall at 10 a.m. And then many of them are staying for the day to volunteer for the Taste of Snellville event from 4 to 8. So going to be a long day for our teens, and it will give them a chance to connect and to build community. So I thank you also for coming out. I just want to note with Councilman Carter, it does start by showing up. If you are here for the first time at one of our meetings, maybe, especially for our youngsters out there, you will be sitting up here behind the dais in a few years. I hope so. Thank you.
Thank you, Christy. And now Councilmember Schultz.
Yes, I think everyone in the room was just heartbroken over the events at Appalachia High School last week. And I just thought you might like to know that our Snellville police officers went out to Barrow County and assisted by taking care of the more routine calls that the Winder Police Department would have had to handle during the day. So I was happy that we could help in a small way. I had the opportunity this morning to spend some time at our Snellville Active Adult Center. Some of you know that I learned to knit about 4 years ago, and I attend the knitting group there occasionally. Well, I had to go today to meet with my knitting mentor, who is, I think, 82 years old. She had to help me fix a mistake. Let me tell you, that place is unbelievable as far as a beehive of activity. I mean, the whole time I was there, there were people coming in to sign up for trips, to sign up for their picnic, to attend the exercise classes. I mean, it was just constant activity. They are now up to about 800 members there. So it's just an amazing place, and you know, you don't have to be old to go there. I think if it's for 50 and over. Yeah. So there's a lot of younger looking folks that are coming in for exercise classes and those types of things. So check it out if you're of the age group that would qualify. I think you'll find some things there you would enjoy. The last thing I wanted to mention was that the community garden plant sale will be at the farmers market this Saturday from 8:30 to 12:30. The Gardens Greenhouse team has been growing seedlings for the last few months, and they have lots of cool weather plants for sale, things like broccoli, cabbage, collards, kale, all those kinds of cool season vegetables. So they will also be selling out of the greenhouse every weekday this week from 9:30 to 11:30. So you can stop off there if that works better for you. But otherwise, come to the sale Saturday. All the they are an amazing value. If you haven't purchased plants from them before, they charge $2 for a 4-pack. You won't find that price anywhere else, and they are really healthy, very healthy plants. So we hope to see you there Saturday. And as always, thank y'all for coming tonight.
Thank you, Gretchen, and Mayor Pro Tem Warner.
Is there anything left to talk about? Erica, do I have a slide? Then I'll have something to talk about. Community starts with each and every one of us, and community is what keeps us from having events like we saw last Wednesday. So reach out. When you see a stranger, make sure you walk away with at least an acquaintance, if not a friend. I know none of us would be up here if it weren't for somebody reaching out a hand in friendship and saying, hey, sucker, hey, I've got a job for you. But it's really important, especially for our youth, since you're not going to be 50 anytime soon to be at the senior center, to do what you can in your community, in every church, in every school, when you're in a store. So this Wednesday, as you can see up on the big board there, we're having Parkwood Farms Therapy Center and Hadassah Harvest are having a free produce box giveaway. So there's a box of fruit and vegetables, and that will be at the old library location at Briscoe Park. The address is 2576, I hope that's the right address, Marigold Road. And so that's the 12th, which I've been told is Thursday, not Wednesday. And they'll start at noon and go until they're all gone. And if you have need or know somebody who's struggling, please let them know that there is an opportunity this Wednesday to get some fresh food. And just to add on to what Gretchen said about the farmers market, we only have 3 more regular season farmers markets coming up, so make sure you come out and enjoy the fellowship there. You can make a lot of friends, and you can certainly get a lot of great treats out there. And for the plant sale, I don't mean to steal this from you, Mayor, the collards sell out really quick. So if you want collards, you got to get there really early. And with that, I will say thank you very much for attending tonight. We really appreciate you all being here. Be safe.
Thank you for that collard announcement. I would prefer to buy mine already cooked. Much less, I am not going to grow it. I just have, I believe, one announcement. I did want to make you all aware of, there's a group in Gwinnett called A Few Good Fellas. And last year was their first walk that they did at Briscoe Park for sickle cell awareness. And one of the members of the group's son has sickle cell, and they thought this would be a good opportunity to provide awareness and raise some money for that. And that will be held at Briscoe Park. It will be on September the 21st from 8 until 1 p.m. So the walk or run will kick off about 8 o'clock or so. So if you'd like to come out for that, I'll get this flyer put up on my Facebook and pass it around to council too. But there's a QR code on there. But if you're interested in that, please put that on your calendar. And I think that is everything for me. Did want to mention we will have one more meeting on the 23rd before, but the last Friday of the month, the Grove movie night. Did you already talk about that, Christy?
No.
The fourth Fridays of the month, we're hosting a children's movie in the Grove in the new downtown area. So that movie's coming up on Friday, and that should be also in the magazine that Christy talked about. And with that, I will close my report, and we will open the floor to public comment. If anyone would like to come forward to speak about some concern, you have 5 minutes on one topic, please.
Good afternoon, Councilmen and Councilwomen. My name is Kenneth Fawkes Jr., and I live at 1323 Temple Johnson Road. My topic today is exclusionary zoning. Exclusionary zoning is a practice where municipalities use zoning regulations to exclude certain groups of people, typically low-income individuals and families, from residing in a particular area. While the intent of zoning laws is often to regulate land use and protect property values, they can sometimes be used to discriminate. And the reason why I'm coming up here to talk about exclusionary zoning is because you guys gave Ballantree a permit to do a commercial project, 55 and older community at the corner of Rosebud and Temple Johnson. And this is why this is exclusionary zoning. It's, Ballantree wants to build right up to the property line, and that's going to create a sense of encroachment and intrusion, potentially making the adjacent property less desirable. You guys want them to build a 6-foot wall, but a 6-foot wall might seem like a reasonable height for privacy fence, but in actuality is perceived as a barrier or division, especially if it's only meant to separate between the two properties. Noise pollution. If the wall does not adequately deflect noise pollution from the new development, it could negatively impact the quality of life for us, the neighbors, and our neighbor next to us. And the visibility, the ability to see through the community windows from outside could create a feeling of surveillance or invasion of privacy, potentially making residents feel uncomfortable or unsafe. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else? Seeing none, I will,
Cat Hardrick, 2280 Buckley Trail, Snellville, Georgia, 30078. Thank you, Council, Mayor, and Council for all you guys do. I would like to just make sure we send a prayer out to the families of the Appalachia High Schools of Barrow County. It just breaks my heart, and I'm sure it breaks all the rest of our hearts as well. For all those individuals, the 4 individuals that lost their lives, 2 of whom are children. My heart just goes out to them. And we need to do much more than what we are doing now for gun awareness, gun safety, and educating individuals, if you do own a weapon, to please, please, please learn how to secure it properly. And I do know, as a member of Gwinnett County Police Department's Citizens Advisory, they offer a class, they offer free for you to learn how to protect and secure a gun in your home so you can protect your family. So please take advantage of that. Commissioner Watkins is, of District 3 is going to hold a town hall meeting on mental health right here in this building on September 30th from 6:30 to 8 o'clock. So I think that's very, very important for our community to take part in and learn about mental health, because we're better than our worst mistake, and there's so much more we can do as a community to support one another, to make sure firearms aren't getting in the wrong hands, and making sure that our young people and people of particular ages from 0 to 1,000 are getting the support that they need. Again, like our council member, I was about to upgrade you to a commissioner, to our city council member who I piggyback off of Suicide Awareness and Prevention Month, I have a family member who's attempted suicide, and loved ones and friends and people that I know personally, and having my own mental health challenges. I encourage individuals to please plug in 988 if you are a civilian. If you are military, 988, press 1, and you'll be connected to a military service individual. And that is for if you are a family member of someone who is experiencing mental health issues, or if you are experiencing mental health issues. Please check. Mental health is very, very important. Another thing, we have individuals in Snellville who are residentially displaced, and there are some people who do not want to receive help, and I understand that, and that makes a challenge for all of us who are trying to do our part to help them get off the street. But as you know, I'm sure you've seen the gentleman who's right here in front of City Hall. He has his buggy. You know, I'll say hi and try to help him. And there are other people who have been more successful than I have to making contact. But he is one of many, unfortunately, that reside right here in Snellville. And so I know the county has that program that I know about, I think since 2008 or some odd. But what are we doing as a city right here in Snellville? What can we do to partner with the county or partner with other organizations, DAV or any of these other facilities, Promise, I can't think of her name, Miss Love, that provides resources for mothers and domestic violence, women leaving and being homeless with their children and all this stuff. So I hope that we can do something. I would love to help facilitate, partner, and do whatever we can do to address the homelessness or the residentially unsheltered, because I don't like to say homeless. And then if we can provide, I don't know what's the status of the liquor license. I know we had that approved and it was waitlisted, I want to say, but it was placed on hold. So what's the status of that? Because we did approve it as having 2 liquor stores in Snellville with one opening up soon. And I know we had the auction and the bid, not auction, the bid for it and so forth. So I got a lot going on personally, and I really just want to stress mental health. So whatever we can do as a city, please let's do it, because there are people hurting. They are killing themselves. These are children. And I believe that we can do something as the responsible people in this community. Thank you. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Hi, Mayor and City Council. My name is Leora Murchison. I've been living in Snellville now for 30 days today. So I'm a newcomer. My daughter owns a business right across the street over in Clower. One of the reasons why I moved here was to be closer to her. She operates a financial assistance company as well as a nonprofit called We Are Dynamic, which helps people with mental health issues. The young lady who just spoke, I would love to get in contact with her later. My daughter's nonprofit basically helps people to get resources. You know, it's a networking organization. So she's not here. She was unable to be here tonight, and she asked if I would come and represent her. And of course, as a mother, that's what we do. And of course, she has recruited me to work for her after I retired, but I'm working for her now, and believe me, she doesn't pay well, but you know, there's more to it than just the pay. You know, it's the satisfaction of helping people who are hurting. They focus on young people and young adults, teenagers and young adults. And what happened this past week or so was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. So if we could be assistance to anyone who needs help or information, please let me know. We're right across the street. So thank you. I don't speak that much, so I just wanted to let you all know that. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and welcome to Snellville.
And this is my daughter, Erica. She wanted to say.
Sure. Just provide your name and address for the record, please.
Hello, I'm Erica Murchison, and I'm a daughter of Leora Murchison. I want to talk about like a crisis that's going on in my generation is the loneliness epidemic that's going on, and I want to address the root causes of the loneliness epidemic is the lack of third spaces, and we needed third spaces so people can come together and talk to each other and meet each other. We need a sense of community, and we also need like walkable and rollable accessible seats. I know we can't change this overnight, but I can plant the seed, and we need to make it so people don't have to drive everywhere they have to go. and also invest in public transits like trains and buses, so people can get to where they need to go from point A to point B. And I want to make everything accessible. And also about this autism thing, I wanted to educate people about autism and change the environment so they don't have to worry about meltdowns 24/7, and help people understand autism meltdowns, that is not intentional. Thank you, and also have a good day.
Thank you so much. Anyone else? Name and address for the record, please.
I'm Tristan Spinnick of 1281 Brayburn Drive, and I just wanted to address, I know it's not something you can really do, but I just want to address the problem with traffic, especially around Brookwood High School. It has gotten really bad since I've gone there. It's gotten so bad that school buses have to go completely around and take a different route than going straight across. And it's become a real problem, especially with even more people coming in, people moving, and so it's created very long traffic. I've seen traffic all the way from Brookwood all the way to the library and the park, and it has gotten really bad. If you go there, you can expect 10 minutes every single time to wait in there until you get to school. And so yeah, thank you.
Thank you, sir. I think Principal Savage is working with Gwinnett County on that. Those roads are actually in the county, so yeah. But I know he talked about that at our last Commerce Club meeting, and I think they're working on some plans. Anyone else? Seeing none, then I will call for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
There's a motion. Is there a second? Second. There's a motion and a second. All in favor, raise your hand. That is 6 in favor with none opposed. We are done tonight. Thank you all for coming out. Thank you for the Boy Scouts for being here and for coming, doing the pledge and the invocation tonight.